Hello there and welcome back once again to our Let's Play of Panzer Campaigns, Market Garden 44. So, continuing off where we had, last left things off. It is, from the looks of it, noon on the second day, turn 10 of the battle. So things are moving quicker than what I had expected in terms of the turn pacing for the game. A couple of notes beforehand. I forgot to mention that a great type of resource, a forum for these games, can be found in the description below. If you visit the Blitz Wargaming Club, they cover a lot of different series that I would recommend, including this one. And as it turns out, they seem to be there's no, say, for example, developer forum for these games, but they're the next best thing. So I highly recommend checking that out. Occasionally, I play a few combat mission PvP battles there as well. So that is kind of that. It looks like in the past we've been kind of defending the two canals over here. It's odd in the sense that I can't sticky the names of places onto the map just yet. Sometimes it happens. I think something triggers it, but I don't know what triggers it, so we'll go with that. So anyhow, almost the line here. It looks like we finished up mopping the main assault coming from Belgium and the port of the Willems Canal down there. I think we'll move back to Nijmegen over here to take a look at the critical portions right over here. So as we have seen here, some of our troops are moving around. I'm going to take a look at the heights over here, and I'm going to take a look at this location over here, and I am trying to figure out where it would be best to kind of move our artillery pieces so that they can rain down some fire amongst the enemies over here. And the idea being that I don't believe you have to set up your artillery guns to fire them. You can set them up in what would technically be, if you will, direct fire mode, where they can kind of do their own spotting. And with that said, that is exactly what I'm trying to do. In addition, as you may have noticed here, we're being attacked by a German unit with a little, red cross. This is indicating that is it's a very unique type of unit. I don't know exactly what they're called, but they're kind of a ragtag formation, in the sense that it's a lot of people who've suffered wounds. So in a sense, it's I think the nickname for them would be a stomach and ear battalion, really, where it's either people suffering from gut shots or kind of non-fatal things like that. But anyhow, moving forwards here, what we're currently seeing on this side is that we're being attacked by a lot of German reserve forces. Now, these are not top quality forces, and with that said, what I'm trying to do here is that I want to delay them. I want to disrupt them. I just simply want to stop them from making assaults onto my formations. The idea being that if I can disrupt them, chances are is that I don't have to hold that much of an area. And from the looks of things, so long as we link up with the 101st Airborne, we should have a pretty easy time, assuming that we can get the bridges up, of course, to move across the rest of the map. So with that said, I think the first part of breaking through the enemy lines will be the most kind of challenging portion, but afterwards, things seem to be good. So, or rather, that brings us over here to the battle at Arnhem. So I think what we've said here is that we'll try to encircle this unit right here, which we're already doing. Well, no, actually, he has. If I can shimmy the engineering unit back one tile and forward one tile, we would have an envelopment, but you know what, I think the easiest route is to do that. The idea being that if your troops exert a zone of control over the enemy tile, all adjacent enemy tiles, they can't trace a supply route or command route back to their HQ, and with that said, therefore, next turn when the game kind of considers these things, it will be then isolated. So anyhow, we'll disrupt them for now. Next turn they'll become isolated. They'll probably put down some reactionary fire, and as they do that, they will likely just kind of dissipate. And afterwards, I think we'll get the artillery battery to shimmy down to the heights over here to better help out in defense of Arnhem. And I don't believe we do anything with Arnhem right now. We just let the paratroopers take a bit more damage, so then we can rotate them out next turn. So all on the front, things are going, is how I would put it. Yeah, unfortunately, we require more bridgeheads to be made ASAP. So we'll see how far we can get ahead with those things. So yeah. The SS will be moving a lot of forces into Arnhem. So long as we can hold the suburbs near there, we should be good. But the best thing to do would be to kind of grab Arnhem proper, because then you get the objectives. Otherwise, we'd have to, of course, assault the position, which by no means is great. That slows us down, but so long as we can trace forces to Arnhem, I think things are good, and it looks like they picked off the rest of our AT guns near Arnhem. So that will take some pressure off of them. It means that they can use the Panzers to greater effect, is essentially what that matters. But then again, I mean, if you're dropping AA guns or airborne anti-tank guns is what I meant to say, typically speaking, you're not going to be breaking any Panther tanks from the front, at least. So we'll see. I see that they managed to disrupt some more forces, so that is not very, very good. We will we'll see how we can, or what we can do here. So, second group of paratroopers come in during this turn. I will try to move the first group of units out of the way here. So what I want to do is I want to get a few stabs onto this unit, hopefully break them. Firstly, the reason being is that I want to limber the AA gun with the artillery pieces, and I want to shimmy them over to the heights here to get them set up. Now, the exact tile where I want to set them up is quite variable, but it looks like it might be just on the edge here. We don't want to expose these to enemy fire, but at the same time, or I should say, we don't want to expose these to anti-tank or tank guns, but we at the same time, we have some leeway with keeping them forwards. So let's see. Some minor fatigue removal, so that is good. What we'll do now is we'll move this unit out. They'll take very small amounts of casualties. We'll shimmy the other paratrooper battalion in. And one of the things that is noticeable here inside this area is all of the British paratroopers, they are rank A troops, except for their leader over here. The reason being is that their leader, which I don't remember his name, but he's actually not bad. The reason being is that a lot of the radio equipment for communications that the British brought over here, they either came kind of mismatched with whatever peripherals they should have brought, or they just kind of plainly didn't expect them, or they plainly kind of just didn't work in this terrain. So with that said, that's kind of to represent the fact that there were some problems there. And what that effectively means here is that it's a lot more difficult to rally troops, which does come into effect, mind you. So let's see, what are they doing over here? They are starting to put up a bit of a fight, so I think we'll move this unit back, get the engineers to deploy and to fight off the forces over here for a bit. And coming over here to Nijmegen, let's see. So there's very likely no enemy forces over here. I do believe we still have one bridge still intact. I'm going to lift up all the tiles. I'm just going to check. Yeah, that is one wooden bridge. So in that case, you know what? I'll get these forces currently in travel mode to move back, and I want them to go in support of the forces over here. So over here, I want this force to move down along the line solidify it like that. I don't think we'll need to dig in anymore, so we'll move those forces back. Alongst here, we're covering the flank pretty well. It looks like the AI has given up on making an assault onto the line over here, so this is good. Either way, we have decent defendable terrain, and we can fight a delaying attack, if it were, yeah, a delaying maneuver, if you will, for a bit, more or less, because the primary thing is not the fighting going on over there. The primary thing is getting forces across and to take the other side of the bridge here. That is my primary goal. The reason being is that at the end of the day, so long as we hold the town of Nijmegen, we don't necessarily need the entire, you know, side of Grosbeak Heights over here, because it is quite a big hill or mountain, if you will. The main thing is that we want to get across, hopefully capture this thing, a pillbox, which is incredibly difficult to get around, and we really want to open up that road. So that is kind of what I am pressing for over there. Now, these forces stationed at Riek, Mill, and Beers, you know, honestly, I don't expect too many German forces to be around there. They're more or less there for the sole purpose of just kind of holding down those tiles, really, for the sake of keeping an eye out for where the AI makes its move. Right, so over here, I think we try to break the HQ. They're down to single digits of men, so in that case I think we just keep firing at them. And one thing is that we want to clear out the congestion. Congestion kind of, it clears itself, but the main thing is that we need to move into it for it to start the countdown before it disappears. And again, that's to simulate the fact that at the time, I mean, the people of this area, they were very, very excited for the fact that the Allies were streaming through. The bad thing is that it made it really difficult to move the forces much needed at Arnhem Bridge to get them along their way. So yeah, there's that issue, but these forces are moving through, so that is very, very nice. So over here, depending on how we want to do this, I really want to push our engineers across. I really need to get them across to make a bridgehead across the let's see what this is, the Wilma bridgehead over here. So you know what, we'll try and get that done as soon as possible. We'll get our forces over here to make a series of assaults, and this should secure this area. So we'll get them to put down a lot of pressure. And right, so that does one portion of it. Second portion is over here. So one thing about the game is that can any of our artillery reach here? Okay, so some can. One thing about the game is that your forces or HQ, what am I trying to say? HQs, they don't have a zone of control around them, and I believe some other forces do not as well. So with that said, we can move around that. So long as I can get rid of these AA guns, I can kind of clear the road away. So with that said, I'm going to send in some superb air forces to try to bombard that gun emplacement. The reason being is that if I can make an assault with one of our forces here, hopefully that would clear the guns out, because I mean the guns can't move, so they take extra damage whenever you try to kind of smash units against them. So there we go. Checking up on our engineers, you'll see here that if I right click on them, we get some statistics about how much damage they do against hard targets, soft targets, how well they assault. Engineers can do a lot of assault damage. They don't really do any more in ranged combat per se. You can tell that more or less that the main thing is that they're bridge engineering troops, meaning that they can set up these bridges. That one is in particular very, very important for us, seeing as how we would really, really like a bridge soon enough. So we'll get them moving soon enough. For now, I want to see one thing, whether or not we can drive some tanks up over here, fire at the HQ here, make a big of a dent that the HQ moves, but doesn't look like it's doing that, which is rather unfortunate. We'll try this again. Unfortunately, we can't fire again. And the idea being, we want to really push through this area. But it looks like that is going to take at the least one more turn. Okay, so right now, I'm not too worried about the tanks. The tanks moving across doesn't help us out by too much. The main thing is getting the artillery set up in the front and getting the rest of the engineers up. So let's see. Yeah, from the looks of it, that is going to take at least another turn to do so. So in that case, let's well, let's see. These guys over here, they're still fixed, so we can't bring them along. The next best thing would be to kind of get these forces over here to spread themselves out a bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back some of the forces from the looks of it. The it doesn't really tell us here, but this corps over here, the 231st. And what I want them to do here is I want them to start forming a bit of a barrier for the German troops, and they're already kind of doing that. They're already doing some damage over here, and in fact we have a chance at isolating a group of the SS, so perfect. We'll try to move into tanks, but that'll take some time. In the meantime, on the front lines, what I want to do right now is I want to try to kind of move our troops by pieces all alongst the front here as best as we can. So they'll try to do that, and all we want to do is just push these people out of the way in a favorable direction, which is not that. So we'll continue trying to move the HQ divisions. In the meantime, let's see if we pack up the rest of the infantry, because they are no longer needed in their assault postures. We can kind of push them up slightly farther. With the humbler brigade over here, I think the best thing to do with them would be to push them up alongst the forest here. And again, the road will open up very, very soon. We can get the HCR reconnaissance squadron over here to move soon enough. And what I want them to do is that I want them to, well, they have to go through Eindhoven, so we'll have to push them through there. And apart from that, I want them to visit Hamon over there to check out whether or not the road through there to Beek is cleared. And that gives us the ability to rotate off some of the 101st into the battle towards the west, which would be very, very nice. So that is one thing there. The artillery pieces, some of them are firing, so we can't move those up just yet. But the rest of these forces, which, damn, they are still pushing on this one unit, eh? Well, we'll let them push. But soon enough, I hope to get them to move as well. Right, so the artillery, I think we get them to stack up over here. And we move the reconnaissance tank force kind of as a blocker forwards even more. And alright, so now in the rear we get tank corps where the anti-tank guns to start moving, in addition with whatever they have left here. Right, so that's the rest of the forces down here alongst the front lines over here. You know what? We can move these scouts forwards. Doesn't look like they're putting any pressure on our flanks just yet, so that's you know, something good. I can try to surround this troop, hopefully break them next turn. And it looks like that will be all for now. And the rest, I see that we've already moved, so we can end the turn, or never mind, forgot about these guys. So yeah, we get additional paratroopers. I believe the Polish came down on one day. Over here we get the support, where we get some more forces, just in general over here, including a portion of more supporting, so AT guns, things like that. All well and good. Second group of paratroopers have come through, and I think there's one more troop after this of paratroopers in all 3 regions. So that is very, very good. We get these people to kind of combine their forces, and I'm going to get them to kind of gradually make the way back to the heights over here. I want to hold the heights mainly. Over here, we get some much needed 82nd, or we get some much needed anti-tank pieces, but that is, from the looks of it, all for now. Later on, if there are any more drops, some infantry would definitely help, but for now that's that. And down over here in the 101st sector, I think we also get some more infantry. So with those infantry units, we'll redeploy them as needed. For now though, you know what? I will combine them. Do these not all combine? These two combine. But yeah, I will try to combine them as well. And I think we deploy them. Nope, apparently these are also 2 different units, eh? Ah, that's where. Well, we'll get all of these people to stack up. We'll figure out what to do with them next turn. Chances are is that currently we don't really do anything with them because there's no need to. Right, so fighting all along the line, they'll probably... Yeah, so again, lots of forces concentrating at Arnhem. But a decent amount of those forces are just kind of supporting pieces, so with that said, they're not that great of a threat. At least not yet. And there will also be this push coming from Germany of reservist forces. Hopefully, we haven't isolated anything over here. We might be able to make a minor kind of a tactical counteroffensive inside this area and crush some of the forces trying to surround Arnhem from here. Right, so far we're doing pretty well on the Arnhem front. It looks like we're dishing out 15 casualties per 1 or 2 losses. Not bad at all. It would have been better if we had the bridge tile. But we do not. So let's start from the bottom of the map. This time moving upwards. All of these forces are still unable to move, unfortunately. Taking a look at the passageway over through here. Let's get the rest of the 101st to stomp out this area. And with this recon troop, I want them to try to trigger these bridges. Again, try to figure out which one of those are safe to kind of use there. Make an assault. Push these people back. Try to move through all of this, and we shall take the bridge area like that. So now that we've taken through these locations, the congestion should it should try to clear. It should clear up after some time. How long that'll take is, I believe, slightly variable. So we'll have to just kind of wait and see there. In the meantime, engineers, where are you? Engineers, there you are. We need to get those engineers moving. Currently, we need to break down this HQ before anything else, so let's do that right away. Get these tanks to deploy. And again, the tanks will take time because currently there's only that one congested, or there's only that one path through through stone bridges, which would be at Eindhoven over there. With that said, those require the removal of those forces, and with that said, we'll get rid of them and we'll get these forces moving. Right, so the engineers will take some time to move. It looks like that'll be another day or another turn. So in that case, you know what? Let's get the infantry over here and let's push them forwards along the road. So now some troops are starting to link up, which is very, very good. Make an assault here, take those guys out. And again, the Irish Guard over here will have to make a bit of a longer drive than I would like them to. But I think we just kind of ship them off, get them to base around Arnhem, or not Arnhem, but over there for now. Make an assault here, finish up whatever is left really, and we'll leave a very small detachment of forces to cover our rear. Alongst the road, let's get these forces to move down. And now that we've kind of cleared a path, movement will be easier. But I think one of the focus points here will be getting the engineers out to the Wilma and Somme Bridge to get forces mobilized over there. Unfortunately, these forces are all still fixed, so we don't have control of them just yet. The bad thing there being that we have no control over what we are going to do with them. Let's get these forces to set up. Over here we have a blocking unit which should slow down the movements of forces, especially if we do that. And over here we've isolated and we've disrupted a lot of enemy HQ units and the such like that, so we make an assault. Let them fire back a few times, that's fine, that'll lower their ammunition. We trade 3 men for 136. And, you know, the game doesn't tell us whether or not we actually kill these people or just kind of capture them. So most of those are captured troops, which for the game's sake, it doesn't actually matter in terms of, you know, actual losses, but it's nice to just kind of say that for flavor, simply because then you, where else you get some really, really meat grinder-like battles. Anyhow, that area is finished up. And the main thing is just waiting for the congestion to end, getting forces through this main bridge. So that will be that. Right, the rest of the line over here, that'll hold. Over here, this will hold as well. Forces will, this battalion will kind of detach, and we'll kind of send them over here for the sake of helping out and holding another tile. So let's see. I don't see any other tanks just yet, so we'll keep the AT back for now because we might have to just kind of dig in over here, or we might want to make a precautionary type of move and dig in up on top of these heights because that would be kind of nice in preventing some losses. Or we could pull some forces off the main line here, the dug-in line over here, make an assault on all of the disrupted forces, and try to move behind these troops. I will try to do that. I will try to make a localized type of counterattack to try to hopefully hold these people off. So these people can kind of do that, move down the line, but if we're able to kind of play the flanks right alongst the fighting front here, we might be able to surround a lot of German forces, get them to be isolated, and break them accordingly. So with that said, let's try to help ourselves out alongst that path by sneaking some reconnaissance forces along here as well. The reconnaissance forces are very light, but the good thing about them is that nevertheless they still exert a zone of control, as they don't fit into the criteria of being some sort of leader unit or some sort of how should I say, support unit. So that's that. In the meantime, why won't these people budge? We really need to budge that unit, that broken unit. Now that they've moved, that is very good for us. We can get more people across the bridge, and hopefully we can flare out this area. Right, alongst the hills here, let's get a picket line established up to the north. See what is going on over there. Engineers push them towards the south. I'm going to take a look at the command for everyone. I think we get the command to move closer towards the hills. Over here again, conducting a very minor type of series of assaults here to try to isolate more forces, and hopefully what this will allow us to do is that in the future we won't have to worry about this flank. We can turn everything towards the defense slash offense at Arnhem. So we'll get these forces to move through. I will get some of our forces carrying the supporting guns and all to move through the area to get them to a safer location. Some more of the infantry will get them to push up. Well, here, you know what? We'll get them to change positions like that. And mind you, we don't have to surround them near the river side, which is very, very helpful for us. Right, get these guns set up so they can hopefully start firing. See if anyone sees that unit over there in still movement mode. No, they do not, unfortunately. Breaking those would be very, very nice. Alongs the front here. How are we doing for morale? Morale is good. Alright, so we leave Arnhem to do its thing. Or I guess not. I mean, I could put down some more minor fires on the enemy forces, but it's more or less, I mean, it does indeed add up, but is it worth, you know, our time in micromanaging is the thing. In that case, yes, because because we can kill them off, but in the rest of the places, it builds up fatigue, and honestly, I mean, I'm trying to stall them out here. That's all I'm trying to do. I suppose we'll try to hit the unit over there, do some damage. Do some damage over here. 7 units, not bad. Okay, so after some time, after we kind of pull the Polish paratroopers in, it might be time to dig in around Arnhem, as in actually getting our forces to dig improved positions in, because they need to survive for the full slog. And with that said, it would be very, very useful if we were able to do that. One thing is that as we kind of push up from the south here, the SS will have to take some troops to man a new defensive position here, because by my estimate, apart from what is shown already, they can make no new moves, so they're already fully committed, at least for now. So tomorrow, aka in the next 5 turns, that may change, but currently from what we're seeing, by the amount of troops flowing in, there might not be any more, which would be really, really good. That means the road to Arnhem is, for the most part, clear, and if the road is clear here, we can just kind of push forwards. Either way, I think we're doing a pretty decent job, not on perhaps holding land, but on destroying enemy divisions and removing some of their fighting power. So let's see, dusk turn. Units can still move forwards, so let's get those going. Infantry over here, I'm going to pull them back. 101st, I will get them to start to establish a defensive line over here. These forces over here, let's get them to stack up along the river edge. Looks like the Germans are trying to get across the bridge, so we'll try to delay them there. And that seems to be the only bridge crossing, so I'm not too worried about the rest. In that case, these forces, we'll get them to go back into travel mode. We'll move command down for now. We'll get these two to set up the river defense here. In the meantime, the main, we're not the main HQ, where is it? The HQ over here, I'm just going to move them so that I can get a better view as to where our forces are. Can try to shift these forces back across for the defense of, well, that area. These forces over here, this entire column, we will keep in reserve, so I'll just get them to stack up as one big tile. It won't do too much for the sake of keeping them like that. Over here we make a minor assault, trade them for quite some people. Can't make another assault from there. Well, no, not enough movement points. That kind of sucks. So they're isolated, they're disrupted, and they're taking losses. Either way, it's pretty good, but I was trying to see whether or not we can make that a bit better. Over here, let's get these disrupted forces back. And I'm under the impression that they were assaulted by something, so we'll try to move some forces into the defense of them. Over here, the situation is still decent. And now over here. I think we plugged the line for now. And the reason for doing that, oh, they're taking a lot of hits over here. Is so that they have a lot of infantry divisions. I think we just plug the line really and hope things will work well. Put our artillery to shoot at whatever points whatever points they can see and whatever points they can hit the most men for, because as more troops of course enter those tiles, our fire becomes concentrated and it does a lot more damage. So over here I'm going to get a force to try to move towards the pillbox. I want to see whether or not that's occupied, because if it's not, I want to shimmy in forces into that pillbox. So over here we get our forces to deploy, come back out. And no, we can't make that move this turn, but I hope we can do that next turn. And ooh, damn, paratroopers are starting to break. That is not good. Over here we not combine, but we start to dig in on top of the hills. Over here let's also toggle dig in. I'm not sure if you can dig in during combat, but in this case we dig in all along the front and we try to hold. So we'll do that, put these people on top of the hills. Again, try to move these forces back. Okay, so there's some isolation going on here. That is good. Continue trying to... Oh, perfect, perfect. So a lot of forces over here are starting to become isolated. So we kind of move these people in. I have a feeling we can take out some of these people from the line. Let's get the artillery to go into movement mode and to get themselves up alongst the heights there. These infantry likewise. We our forces here, I would say, very, very kind of scattered. I'm not necessarily following the command structure very well, but the thing is that the area is so small that it shouldn't matter too much. The main thing is that I want them to kind of to start to make assaults onto whatever isolated forces they have over here. So yeah, our engineer forces and things are holding them back. And going down south, the main line of forces, here's what we'll do. We'll bring up the view of all of the forces here. See our engineers get to the... See that the engineers get to the bridge where the two congested routes over here real fast. Now, I'm pretty sure the infantry units can take alternative routes to the bridge, to the combat zone without going over those bridges, and from the looks of it, this one can. So we'll try to push the infantry across. I'm not sure about mechanized infantry though, so we'll keep those guys back. Let's take a look at what is the composition of the Coldstream Guards, whatever they are. We'll try to move them forwards. These forces as well, get them to just kind of pile through here. And with the band of HCRs over here, I think we get them to, for now, take their vehicles, go towards the sides, because tonight, I think, instead of getting the guards over here to rest, I'm going to give the forces of the RTR over here. I want them to set up the blockade line. The guards will still have to push forwards, unfortunately. They'll have to be in the combat for a lot more than what I had originally expected from them. And that's because we don't know what it doesn't seem like the SS have any more troops inside this area, at least not for now. So in that case, again, I want to push these engineers through. So I think we'll end the turn here. This has been almost 40 minutes, so we'll leave off till next time, guys, when we come back to the campaign, see what we can do, and, well, see whether or not we can relieve those paratroopers in time. So, bye-bye for now.